In this video, I will explain why the Simpsons cartoon seems to be predicting future events, and what this has to do with McDonald's golden arches. But before I do, just know, everything I say here is my personal belief, and it's up to you to study these things out on your own to see if they are true or not. Homer, from The Simpsons, shares the name with Homer, the poet, because they have something deep in common. The poet Homer wrote a story called the Odyssey. One of the most prominent characters in the Odyssey, a character that just about everyone thinks of when it comes to that story, is the Cyclops. This means, the poet Homer, is synonymous with a Cyclops. And I will explain how Homer Simpson is also deeply connected to a Cyclops. This first-century head of a Cyclops from the Roman Colosseum shows his third eye opened and his two eyes closed. These other pieces of art show the same thing. Why is that? Why are their eyes closed and their third eye opened? This is the spiritual reason. The right hemisphere of the brain is the side of feelings, dreams, and imagination. The left hemisphere is the side of logic and reason, which has to do with reality. A person wouldn't be able to separate fantasy from reality if their right and left brain merged into one. Not only that, but all the fictional movies and TV shows they watched in their life, which was stored in the imagination part of their brain, would become real. Their reality would alter, as they found themselves living in something like a dream or a movie, as if it was real. What was once fantasy, would become reality. If their right and left brain merged into one, then their eyes would also merge into one eye, because their eyes are connected to their brain. They would become a Cyclops. This could be summarized by having two eyes closed, and the third eye open. Technology is merging people's right and left brain into one. We can already see how virtual reality is beginning to merge the worlds. It's turning people's fantasies into reality. People are turning into a Cyclops. It's no coincidence that the character Cyclops from the X-Men looks like he's wearing a virtual reality headset. He's an analogy that people who merge their minds with technology will turn into a Cyclops. So what does Homer Simpson have to do with a Cyclops? It's his donut. That donut represents the third eye. Spiritually, a donut and a bagel represent the same thing because of their shape. Bagels have sesame seeds on them because it has to do with the saying, open sesame, which I believe means to open the mind, the third eye. I believe the mind is a portal to heaven. And heaven is a treasure. This is why the saying, open sesame, has to do with finding treasure. But the mind can also be a portal to hell. Those who try to get to that treasure without Jesus will get hell instead. Those who use technology to try to get to heaven will end up in hell. These people modified themselves by putting a bagel shape on their foreheads. It's called bagel head. They are symbolizing opening their third eyes, whether they realize it or not. The spirit or demon guiding a person will make them do things without them knowing why. To open the mind is to open the third eye. The third eye will open when the right and left eye merge into one. When that happens, dreams, fantasies, and the movies and TV shows they watched will come out of that eye and become real. I'm talking about the fictional movies and shows they watched, not the non-fiction ones. Because fiction has to do with imagination. Homer Simpson is connected to a Cyclops and the third eye, through that donut. And he shares the name with Homer, the poet, because he too has to do with a Cyclops and the third eye. In spiritual signs and symbols, something as little as the shape of hair on a cartoon character's head can have a deep meaning. The two hairs on Homer's head represent two arches, which represent a portal. A portal from the spirit world to this world. There is an arch that exists in the spirit world, through which a spirit or demon goes through, to get to this world. It comes out through the arch on the other side into this world. The Arch of Baal is an example of this kind of portal. The arches are on Homer's head, symbolizing the portal in the human head, which is the third eye. The two hairs on Homer's head represent McDonald's two golden arches. I believe in order for a demon to come through the third eye portal, there must be a sacrifice of blood and meat. This is where McDonald's and its hamburgers come in. Now, I don't know what's in today's fast food hamburgers, and this is just my opinion, but considering how diabolical the powers that be are, I wouldn't be surprised if it's human flesh or aborted fetuses, which would be the sacrifice demons need to come through the portal. One of the first McDonald's restaurants was built between two golden arches. The hamburger meat that was cooked in that restaurant was cooked between two arches. It symbolized how the sacrifice of blood and meat is what opens the portal between the arches, so the demon can come from the spirit world into this world. These McDonald characters have 4 eyes. What is the meaning behind this? Each eye represents a pillar. The letter I sounds like I, because they are the same. An eye is an eye. The letter I also looks like a pillar because they too are the same thing. Therefore, if the letter I is a pillar, then that would mean a pillar is an eye. This means 2 pillars would be 2 eyes. Sometimes the portal is 4 pillars. 2 pillars in the spirit world, and 2 pillars in this world. Sometimes the portal is 2 arches. They're interchangeable. In this case, it's 4 pillars. These characters have 4 eyes because it represents those 4 pillars that the demon passes through. The 4 eyes are in their heads because the portal is in the head. Some say the Nephilim look like clowns. The Nephilim have to do with the fallen angels. God imprisoned some of these fallen angels in hell, which is the bottomless pit. And they're waiting to be released. I believe the bottomless pit is in the human mind, in the third eye. Watch my video The Bottomless Pit is in the Third Eye, which will explain this. Once the third eye opens, those Nephilim clowns will come out and enter our world. When they do, they will alter people's reality into a movie. Ronald McDonald is the mascot for McDonald's because he represents those Nephilim. The world will turn into a nightmare when they come out. This is why clowns have to do with nightmares. Opening the third eye will release the fallen angels from the bottomless pit, turning people's reality into a movie and hell on earth. Some say the powers that be are telling us their future plans through movies and TV shows. It's called predictive programming. That may be true to some extent, but I believe something else could be going on. I believe movies and TV shows are spiritual seeds that go into people's minds that will later be activated, sprout and manifest into reality. The act of watching movies is what makes them become real. It's not predictive programming, it's manifestation. People are making movies and TV shows become real by watching them. The powers that be want us to watch their movies and TV shows so they can become real. They want to plant their seeds in our minds. The episodes in The Simpsons are happening because people watch them. The seeds planted in their minds from that show, and other shows and movies are beginning to sprout into our reality. Why do I say this? It's because I believe God gave me a dream about this. I had a dream of a UFO pulling stars out of a man's eyes, the same way a fisherman pulls fish from the sea. As it pulled them out, the stars surrounded the man's head, and his eyes also became stars. From that point on, all he could see were stars. The UFO represented the devil. The stars represented every movie the man ever watched. The devil planted those movies like seeds into his mind, only later to pull them back out. Those movies surrounded his mind and became his reality, even the horror movies. His world would become a living nightmare as he became trapped living in those movies as if they were real. Movies are not harmless entertainment, they're seeds that will grow and one day be birthed out of the mind and become one's reality. So what's causing these seeds to sprout? I think it's the vaccinations, the 5G, the so-called national emergency alerts which could be activating something in people's brains, and the hamburger meat from certain fast food chains. And it's CERN, the birthplace of the World Wide Web, the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, which is believed to be the bottomless pit. Somehow, CERN is connecting itself to people's minds, and opening a portal to the bottomless pit in their mind. In a Simpsons episode, Homer predicts CERN on a chalkboard, and connects it to a donut. Some say the universe is in the shape of a donut. How we see the universe has to do with the mind and our perception of reality. If CERN is opened, one's perception would change. In the Bible, the children of Israel made an idol of a golden calf, and worshipped it. Then, as a punishment for doing that, Moses burned it, put it in the water, and made them drink it. And he took the calf which they had made, and burnt it in the fire, and ground it to powder, and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink of it. Exodus 32 verse 20. By drinking it, they became one with their idol. In the same way, those who idolize movies, TV shows, the internet and technology, will become one with them. And their reality will turn into a real-life movie. In this Simpsons episode, people became zombies by eating fast food hamburgers. This may happen in real life, not only because people watched that show, and the seed was planted in their mind, but because people are eating the meat from certain fast food chains. Plus, they're being vaccinated, immersing themselves in 5G, virtual reality, and technology, and they're hearing the sound from so-called national emergency alerts which could be activating something in their brain. And CERN, the birthplace of the web, which is believed to be the bottomless pit, is tapping into people's minds. In my opinion, all these things happening is opening a portal.
He felt terrified and said it was straight out of a movie.
They followed us for about 5 minutes, did 2 or 3 circles around us. It was like something out of a movie.
Members of the community and mall goers in shock.
Pretty crazy.
It almost sounds like something out of a movie. It
sounded like complete thunder. Like I said, I'm still trembling. Like it was like something out of a movie.
Witnesses say what they saw looked like it was out of a movie.
It's like something out of a movie you've never seen before in your life.